catch Bardet halfway down. The motorcycles are going to have to be pretty clever today because there's a lot of gravel around here and it's a bit like a patchwork quilt, as you can see, and you can also see that Bardet is catching the motorcycle. He's got to get the hell out of there because Bardet can take these corners quicker than he can, and he suddenly realizes and winds it up, cranks it away, so it'll be a distance picture that you get of Bardet as he starts to take these corners. Good work by him and a good attack point which he's engaged.
See, the problem is he wanted to be on this descent first. It means that he knows this descent. He's already done it in training. He's looked at it. The thing is, you can just see the changes in the surface and your bike starts to shudder about. We've seen the on tour with Le Mans, and he nearly came off in one of the corners. So when you get this change, I do know that Orica Green Edge have the British rider. Whoa! Simon Yates.
There we go. He knows how to thread this mountain. He trains here. He knows every single piece of this patchwork quilt as if his granny had sewn it together. And right now he is skipping down here. Check out Bardet. He's on a mission, and not even Nibali fancies this one, for goodness sake. He's a man who can descend like a good one, and even Bardet, well, maybe he goes wide because he knows exactly what this corner demands, and he does. Surely that barrier's got to be a test, and he sails so close to it, giving the almost vertical, keeping the bike frame vertical as he went through that corner. That was a clever piece of riding by Bardet, and clearly big piece of knowledge as well. Let's see how closely everybody else follows the Bardet line through there. Can't quite keep up with it, and the motorcycle just needs to get away from these guys. Goodness me, what a descent this is. Well, a lone rider can take this a lot better than anybody who happens to be two up, as they say, side by side. Even Bardet at the moment is finding some of the gravel which has been kicked out. They repair the surface. We were hoping it was going to be a little bit better than this. They repair the surface occasionally, and when they do, especially if it's in a sun area, they basically lay tar down and then sprinkle gravel. It gets kicked out towards the sides of the road by traffic, basically. The tyres just squeeze it over. Unfortunately, it means that if you take a corner very wide, you can get a very unstable surface to ride upon, and for the time being Bardet is away here. He's getting an increasing distance over them. 22 seconds now, Brian.
Well, you can see the difference. Bardet taking all the risks, and fingers crossed he's going to stay upright on this descent. He obviously knows it well and was confident at the top to take it on from the front. Team Sky just easing up. They're actually taking some foot on in the descent, which is very important. Just waving behind, slow down, slow down. I can't see this gap coming down. In fact, I think it will go up the whole way down to the bottom of the descent.
And the man who's leading everybody, and now by a margin of 26 seconds, is Bardet. They won't be at the bottom of this descent until the ticker says 6, so they've got 11 kilometres remaining, and already he's found 27. He's found 27 in about the last 6. This guy is on an absolute mission. 28 seconds now.
The thing is, he's taking the risks, and Team Sky are not going to take any risks whatsoever. They've got the bigger picture of making sure Chris Froome is safe, and if Chris Froome gets down to the bottom of this climb in one piece, then they'll be happy with that. So they're allowing Bardet. They're not really kind of chasing him down. They want to get to the bottom of this climb. Everybody
right now, and Bardet, he knows this area. Not only that, he's had the demeanour of a man who's actually on a leash over the last few days. He's been like a little pit bull, to be honest. Whenever he's seen any opportunity, he's been snarling and grasping at it, desperate to go. His team have been holding him back. Well, they're not holding him back any longer. They've just told him to go for it, and he is absolutely flying down this descent. As soon as it starts to kiss, he could attack all the way to the line today.
Very possible. This climb is 6.2 kilometres, as we said. He's going to be on his own, and you'll got to remember that Sky do have 3 riders with Chris Froome, so they'll want to try and take some time back for Chris Froome. So I expect that we're going to see this gap coming down. It's how much time he's going to come off the descent with. He's still trying to eat. As we said, it's very important. A stage race, he has to eat, and they're not getting a lot of time to be able to do that, especially when he's pushing on.
To be honest, he went through a right-hander there and grabbed a gel. He straightened the bike up and put it in his mouth. Both hands back on for the left-hander, and now he's trying to get into the foil and then just get down the rest of this mountain. But he's still pulling away. 33 seconds. Being out there and on your own, especially when you're familiar with the descent, counts for an awful lot, doesn't it?
It does. It's 15 kilometres to go. The kilometres are passing by now. Still a long way to go in this descent. As we said, the climb, this respect, but Bardet just throwing caution to the wind. really ripping into this. Obviously knows every inch of this descent and putting more and more time in the further we get down.
That curve said it all. He knew how the curve was going to open up for him, and he played it dead centre, knowing that he would have all the right axis going in. Off camber there, out towards, just spat towards the mountain. That's going to be a danger point for somebody who doesn't know. Off camber means the road shelves away the wrong way, doesn't offer you up any banking as you go round the corner, and he's using every inch. He's just brushing the verges every single time here. He looked very shaky on one of the curves, and I was thinking, my goodness, he looks a bit frightened. And then when he came out of it, he'd taken it absolutely perfectly on the escape, and it's 43 seconds now. Well, we're saying it could be a minute by the time he gets to the bottom. It's a bounce once we get to the Pied de Col, which comes at 6 kilometres to go. So he's going to go straight down, and then he's going to be heading straight back up the Prada Loop. Now, it's about an average of 6.5%. It does kick to 9 on occasion, but look at this. He's threading this absolutely beautifully.
No, he's going down it really, really well for a skinny wee climber. He's certainly going down here with confidence, and he started the day 1 minute behind.
And maybe he's not as loud as he could be just yet. Oh, that was a scary one. I thought for a moment there, I was absolutely heart in my mouth. I thought he'd made a mistake, but he got away with it. I can't believe the way he's taking on this mountain. That gap is to some of the best descenders in the world, let's not forget.
It is, but it just looks as if nobody's really taking any risk. Nibali sitting back. Nibali would be one of the riders that would want to take advantage. The trouble about this, or the danger in this descent, is on the left we've got rock face, and the right we've got sheer drops. There's no room for any mistake whatsoever.
Do you know what? The motorcycle is doing a fantastic job. Normally we'd have a long shot here from a helicopter, and at the moment this motorcycle is doing a sterling job. There you go. Just tighten everything up as you come through here. These kinds of favours when it comes to the King of the Mountains competition as well. But right now he's thinking about stage glory. He takes a little toot on the water and heads into another curve. He knows even the areas he can take sustenance. That's a man who's familiar.
Yeah, he's confident, taking all the risks. He did start the day 1 minute behind, so...
Stretch the legs, why don't you?
Exactly. Now he's just getting into a more aerodynamic position. He knows the gap's going up. He'll be getting that in his ear. This is a World Tour race. He's got the race radio behind him. Touches 1 minute now. The peloton's still pretty much all together. I thought there might have been some splits, but it does look as if it's been a good job from Wout Poels, not taking any risks, and the GC contenders want to get to the bottom of this climb in one piece.
Well, benchmark is a minute for 10 kilometres, so he's going to have more than a minute with 6Ks to go by the time he reaches the final climb. Normally you sort of scrub that rule of thumb. It's normally on a sort of flat or rolling day, unless you've got a climber, and we've got a climber here in Romain Bardet, and not only that, this is his playground. Yeah, exactly, a descender as well. Oh my goodness, 9.5 to go. So any advantage in calling for his team to bin themselves when they've got Vercors tomorrow. Plenty of climbing there. And Mont Blanc still to come, where he believes he's got the beating of Bardet. Bardet's odds, even overall, are going to shorten dramatically if he takes today's stage and has it by a decent margin. He comes into today in a healthy place, a minute down overall. Now that's courtesy of his team time trial. Wasn't a great team time trial, but you can make amends within the mountains, and right now he is our virtual leader on 1 minute and 7 ahead of the field. And so Bardet is in the yellow jersey just for now, and I think he's in the bird seat as well as he heads up this mountain in 2.6 kilometres time, provided he makes it. Little error there, drives out of the corner, still though pedaling on. Let's have a look. We've caught it. Hey, big lock up at the back, shimmy shimmy. Do not get yourself a puncture at a moment like this, and if you get into the gravel at the side of the road, then that beckons. Takes this curve as well. There is his speed undiminished, drives through the next one. He's finding it once again. Little bit of a wake-up call. Lucky for him coming late in the run. If he'd had a moment at the top, maybe that gap wouldn't be 1 minute and 12.
Yeah, you don't know these things, but he's pushing out the advantage all the time in this descent. He's not the only person that lost it in the descent. Everybody's been watching Le Monde on tour, but everybody in the peloton just hoping that they get down to the bottom of this descent in one piece. And just to our team, that if he does take the stage, and if he does take that yellow jersey, I'm not too sure that he's got a strong enough team to hold on to it, because Perrault has already been distanced. Does look as if Reblom was in the breakaway. He's been shot out the back. I don't think they've got a strong enough team, because the rider that was right up there with them looked as if that was Villermois. So he is the only rider that was in that group behind.
You're loving this at home. Leslie Haynes says, I don't want to watch, but I can't not watch. This is amazing. Nick Colclough says, the descent on today's Dauphiné, hair-raising. I'm nervous just watching it. Saf says, Bardet's descending. Treble exclamation mark. Wow. Holding my breath, says Emma. This descent is scary, says Ian. Loads of you absolutely loving this. Not as much as Bardet, that's for sure. Down or shortening by the moment, not only for the Dauphiné, but I'll be bound some of you are now fancying him perhaps for the Tour de France. Certainly this stage, you just watch, he'll be extremely short odds when this stage is repeated on the Tour de France. We remind you, a race you can keep in touch with. Unrivaled coverage here on Eurosport. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'll be in the company of Sean Kelly, of course. Today it's Brian Smith, and the pair of us are having fantastic fun watching Bardet. He's 500 metres or so from the bounce.
Yes, left-hand turn, and it'll be straight uphill, 6.2 kilometres, 6.5 average. So he's off the descent and onto the ascent now.
There we go. It wasn't even there. It wasn't even 500 metres. He's now climbing, and he's climbing for home. 1,020,000. That's almost disrespectful. He wants to take control of this race, and it's a difficult jersey to rip off the back of Chris Froome, but this is difficult to bring in as well. Last couple of 100 metres, in fact 300 to go right now, and here he is. Bardet's into the hoarded section, and those who've taken some time out of their lunch today, it's a long one, 3 o'clock local time, 250 metres, are going to see exactly what they want. Bardet must not wilt, he must not falter, as Chris Froome at the moment is still grinding this one. In Choust, he looks like he's going to have to be settled for 4th place. He might get a pickup on the flat as we just start to head in. TJ Van Garderen looking like he's good for 3rd place at the moment. Bardet starting to pedal squares. He's out of the saddle right now, and the hoardings are welcoming him. Beaten flat, as you can see, by the fans who are here. They've turned out in their hordes, and this is a hugely popular win, not only for them and Bardet, not only for his team and the French press, but for the French cycling fans generally, and you know what, for cycling fans globally, because Bardet is a proper prospect and a fantastic winner today. What a performance that was. He gets out the way after making it over the line under his own power.